Good evening, everybody. October 23rd, 2021. Basically just had a whole bunch of chop here on Bitcoin today. Overnight it did spike down to a nominally lower low there, but then we had a nice big reaction off of it. Since that reaction, we really haven't had anything happening though. So, I don't know exactly how to interpret it. It's not great that it hasn't moved yet, but we really should be getting a three-wave move up in this B, and so that means we should see something. If this was the low, then we should see something up here to at least 62, maybe 63, somewhere in this region. This 1.236 to the 618 range is the typical range for the C wave and a three-wave move. So this could certainly, it could spike down again and make a lower low, and then that would kind of drag everything down with it, or not a lower low, but a lower, lower than this low here. If it does, then that drags that target box down as well. But for now, we'll go under the assumption that we struck the low in the pullback here, right there, for our ABC move up within B. So, initially I was thinking maybe 64K would be a good region to target, but it looks like we may only get, if this plays out, we may only get, in the 63s instead. As a best case scenario before heading down again in C. So at the moment, that's what I am tracking, what I'm looking at. I suppose B waves are always they're always the toughest ones to track. So I suppose there's a small possibility that this just continues down into a target, and we just had like a very, very small B like that, basically. That is a possibility, and the target for C would likely be a little bit lower than, more like 54.8, something like that, if that were the case. But until we break a new low, I'm going to operate under the assumption that we're going to see some sort of bounce here, and going into Sunday, having that bounce happen on a Sunday makes a lot of sense. That Sunday action typically gets reversed. So if we see overnight a move up into this region, we will very likely see then the move down begin Sunday, evening or Monday night. So that's what I'm expecting there. And then we really need to hold. Once that's in place, we'll need to hold this C wave in the appropriate region for a C wave, which would be the 1236 extension at the most of the fib that I'm going to draw from A to B whenever B plays out. And we should see that hold in order for us to continue upwards into the next part of the bull market. If we don't see it hold, if we see it crash down further than expected, then we need to kind of take a look at some of the alternatives that I talked about previously. And we'll go from there. But for the moment, that's my expectation right there. So 62 to 63.5 basically is kind of the resistance zone on Bitcoin here. And as long as we remain within it, preferably we tap it and remain below 63.4, we should be making a lower low after that. So, all right, I think that pretty much sums it up for the night. So good night, everybody, and we'll see where we are in the morning.